This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Jayco Redhawk model 26XD. Okay, so I'm on the door side of the trailer, and you see you just have basic storage on this side. This is a quick connect for your LP right there, so you can hook up a grill or whatever you choose. You got power awning. This is the outside of your water heater. The switches operated are inside the trailer, but this is where you drain it right here. That's where you drain the water. This is a pressure release valve here. Of course, never drain it or release the pressure with hot water in it, because you could scald yourself or worse. So keep that in mind. But the switches operated are inside. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, this is the fill station for your propane. So the attendant will know how it operates, obviously, but this right here is where he's going to hook up his hose. This is a bleeder valve right here. That is the master on and off for going into the coach from the tank. So that's on off, and of course you have a little meter there also. All right. It's got a power step. Right now it's shut off, so it's staying out, but it will go in and out as you open and close the door if you set it that way. All right. Let's keep moving around. This is your generator. Here, let me reach under here. Now the switches that you'll use are inside the trailer, or the motorhome, sorry. But you can also pull that green panel off there, and you can operate it from outside if you want to. But like I said, generally people use the switches inside. Your cord tucks in there. Obviously this is where you fill your fuel tank up with. It's an outside shower. The thing to know, this is the water center here. So basically what you have are you've got a schematic, a drawing of this valve here, and then another one of this valve here. So you have your choices: city fixtures, which is regular city water. Use the city water to fill your onboard tank, for example. Country fill, which is, I believe, just not pressurized water to fill a tank. Normal, which is the position we're in now. And if you want to winterize, you would choose this position, 2 and 4. So this would obviously be like this, and this would be like this. Okay. And you could actually sanitize the tank also this way. You do that basically by you would go to the city water, and you'll there's a hose in one of the drawers inside, and you would hook it up here, and then put the other end of it into a gallon of antifreeze, and you'll pull it through. If you're sanitizing, you do the same thing with Spring Fresh or whatever type of sanitizer you use, bleach and water mix, whatever. So that's that. But basically, the two most important here are the regular city water hookup, which is actually 2 and 6, okay? Or if you're going to fill your onboard tank. The reason you want to fill the onboard tank is if you go to a campground that has, it does not have plumbing on the campsites, you have to pre-fill your fresh water tank and use the onboard pump to pump the water, which is a great feature to have, obviously, because some of the nicer old state parks don't have plumbing on the campsites. They'll have a fill station when you first go in. So you would fill there and use your onboard pump, okay? All right, so this is a black tank flush right here. What it does is it cleans out your black tank even better. So you have your hose hooks up here, your dump hose hooks up here, the other end goes into the dump station. Then this is the black tank valve here. Black tank is toilet water and waste. This is the gray tank, which is sink and shower water. So you'll pull the black first, because it's the dirtiest water. And then after it dumps, you'll pull the gray second, and it cleans out the black, the hose somewhat, so it's just cleaner dirty water, like I said. But then if you leave the valve for the black tank open, you can hook your hose here at the dump station, turn it on, and it'll spray the inside of your tank. It'll clean off the sensors and just give it a hose, spraying on the inside, and it's a really good thing to do because of that. The main, obviously it keeps odors down and that sort of thing, and just keeps it clean, but it also sprays the the sensors in the tank. The sensors are what tells the monitor panel how much fluid or waste is in the tank, right? So it'll keep those clean too, which is a really good thing. All right, this is just an outside shower, hot and cold water, more storage. Okay, you have a backup camera. You have a ladder on the back. Having a ladder on the back is good because to own a motorhome or a trailer, you have to inspect the seals on it on a regular basis. The manufacturer says go on the roof every 90 days or 3 times a season. You go up there and look around, check out every place you see sealant from the factory, and if there's any cracking or separation, which eventually will start, every trailer and motorhome does, so you're just inspecting to find out when that happens, and when it does, you get it touched up immediately. So if you inspect it regularly, you'll always be on top of things, and it'll never get to the point where it leaks. That's not just this model, that's every trailer ever built, every motorhome. So, okay, of course, and then here you have a receiver to hook up, if you want to pull a car behind you, for example, or another trailer, and there's your 7-way for it there. Alrighty, and there was one last thing that I think was in here. Didn't get a chance to show you. Nope, it's the next one. You can shut the low points. Oh, here we go. These are the low points of the trailer right here. That's the lowest point of the plumbing. So obviously the valves are perpendicular with the line right now. That means they're off. If they were parallel, in this case that would be straight up and down vertical, they would be on. So to dump the last bit of antifreeze, for example, out, you would turn those into the on position and let it drain. That you use that when you winterize, basically. Okay. All right. Let's go inside and see what we got. Underneath here, there's a latch right there. Is your house battery. Okay. To turn the house battery on and off is this switch right here. Okay. To send your awning in and out is right here. Just in and out, and it obviously goes out automatically. The thing is, you never want to leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, you're going to roll it in so you don't damage, get it damaged by the wind or weather. Okay, so always leave it in when you're not around. I'll come back outside for a second. There's one thing I forgot to show you. This is the vent for the range hood right here. You can see it has a baffle, and there's like a little latch on each side. Hopefully you can see that. So if you're going to run the vent hood, you have to push up on those latches so the baffle will flap freely, right? All other times you keep it closed just like this, but if you're going to vent from the range hood, then you want to open that up. A lot of people forget to do that, and there's not much point in it. Okay, so this device is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it goes off, obviously you take it out, everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the propane off, and figure out what's going on, okay? But it also should always have a green pilot light on it, like it does right now. Okay. This is you turn your power step on and off here, interior and exterior lights, okay? Going up a little higher, we've got more controls. This is your generator. Basically, we'll go over it with you, but you prime it first, and that by holding it in, and then it'll light up. I believe in this case it lights up, and then you push start and it starts. And it also tells you how many hours it's been running, so you have to do maintenance on it. You have to change out the oil on a regular basis, so you have to read your manual on that. It's very important to have that done. Very important, okay? So your 2 slide-out switches are right here, in and out, in the rear one in and out. To turn your water heater on electric, you do this. To light it on gas, you do this. Keep in mind, you always want to make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn on any energy source, because you can't dry fire it or you'll damage it, and that's not something that's covered under warranty. So one way to find out is you'll hook up your city water, then you'll turn your hot water valve on, and if the tank is empty, it'll just start spitting out air, and then as it fills, it'll become a mixture of air and water, and eventually solid water. That's how you know your hot water tank is full. Okay. And you also have, I mentioned the sensors on your tanks. This is where you check them. That's their battery. Fresh water is about 1/3 in there right now, but they're still working on it. Black tank, which is your toilet water and waste, is empty. And the gray, which is sink and shower water, is empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments, as you can see. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping your black and gray tanks. Okay. Okay, so you have a convection microwave, but that's pretty much standard. This is your vent hood I told you about. Remember about the baffle on the outside. There's the fan and light. Okay, your range, I believe he has gas on. Let me see here. You just turn it to light, which is obviously just a picture of the flame. Then you turn the sparker clockwise, so it looks like it shut it off. But when you turn it clockwise, the burner's light, obviously. You've got a knob for each burner, like you would expect, and then you have this one is for the oven. Now, one thing you have to know about the oven is there's a pilot light. If you go all the way to the bottom and back there, there's a pilot light back there. You can spark it like that. So what you do is you want to light the pilot light. You go to the picture of the flame, which is, in this case, it means pilot. You depress it in like that and hold it. So you keep it depressed in. Then you're going to spark this until the pilot light lights back here. And once it lights, you still hold it for another 10 seconds or so, depressed in there. And then you'll go to operating temperature. It cycles like a regular oven, of course. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you got to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. So your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator. It works on LP gas or 110 AC. It's automatic, although you can choose modes on this one, I believe. Let me see. There we go. So you can see right there it's on gas. That's a picture of the gas. Let me see if I can get this thing to work correctly here. There we go. That's automatic with electricity as being the primary source. So electricity takes parameters in this one, but because the A is on it means it's automatic. So let's say you're running on electricity and you go out exploring for the day and your motorhome's sitting on the site on a hot day and the public campground power goes out, or the campground power goes out, it would sense that and automatically switch over to gas for you. So automatic is a good place to leave it. But it'll always sense and whether you have electricity or not. Alright, let's see what else we have. This is a power converter here. It converts 110 AC down to 12 volt DC or over to 12 volt DC. It also will keep your battery charged when you're plugged in. Of course, you got a rear slide. And another switch for this, just like the one up front. Your bathroom works like any other bathroom. Sink and shower are the same. You have a vent up here that you always want to run with the shower to pull the humidity out, because these things are built really tight now, so you don't want to build up humidity in here. The toilet is typical of RV toilets. This one has a flush pedal right up front here. You can see that's the black tank directly below there. So the bottom line is you can't run the toilet without a little bit of water in it to start off with, and chemical. So when you get to the campsite, you hook up your power, your water, you come in here, you'll take whatever chemical you use, whatever brand, you put one dose right in the bowl. Then, because your water's hooked up, you step on this and water will come swirling out. Excuse me. So what you do is you stand on this until you put about a gallon or so of water into the tank below. There's no way to tell exactly what that is. You don't have to do it exact. Just, you got to have some water and chemical in there when you start using it and it has a dry black tank. So always keep that in mind. If you don't do it, you'll only do it once, because the smell will be pretty severe, really severe, super severe, and that sort of thing. So you'll probably only do it once if you ever do it. But okay. So this table folds down. You can convert it. Okay. You got theater seats here with leg rests and all that sort of thing. This is your antenna here. It doesn't go up and down, but it rotates, so that's where you'd rotate the antenna. This is your thermostat right here. It's an analog thermostat. Hopefully you can see that okay. All the way this way is heat, off, fan, and cool. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, so it just circulates air. Heat, of course, is propane heat, and then cooling obviously is your roof air conditioner. Okay, so we'll go over the chassis with you, our your salesperson will. But I will show you that this button here is basically an emergency button. If let's say your chassis battery, which is the battery for your motor, if that happens to go dead, you can push that button and it'll link the house battery, which I showed you was under this step here. Remember? It'll link those two together, so it'll actually give you power. So if it ever goes dead, you can always get yourself out of power or out of trouble by pushing that button. So that's a neat feature, for example. The rest of it works pretty much like you would expect. It's got very familiar controls. You have your LED display, and right now it's running through demo mode, so you can check it out when you get here to see what the features and all that. But it's you can access your backup camera, your radio. I think you can get the paid service, XM, Sirius XM radio, that sort of thing. You can charge your USB, like I said, rear camera, and so on and so forth. It has Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending what kind of phone you have. Okay. All right. Let me get back up here. I'm just looking around to see if I forgot anything. I think I pretty much covered it. Okay, good. Yes. All right. So I want to thank you for purchasing your motorhome here at National RV Detroit. Remember what I said about inspecting the seals on the roof and the sides? That's something everybody who owns a motorhome or trailer has to do. It's very important, okay? You also have to winterize it, obviously, when the weather gets below 32 or before the weather gets below 32 Fahrenheit. So make sure you take care of that also. Okay? Thank you very much.